guy who's got values, is honest, looks and is willing to help others.
Just respecting his peers and respecting, the opposite sex.
And someone who knows how to do things, fix things, jumpstart a car, kind of things, mow the lawn, chainsaw a tree, catch a fish, those kind of things. A bloke, a dude.
Boy, that's a leading question, isn't it, in this day and age?
Someone that works in the hardware.
A good role model to their sons and their the various males that they come into contact with.
Honesty.
Oh, I don't know, determination, commitment.
Tolerance and fairness.
What makes a great guy for me would have to be someone who's kind, caring, compassionate, who's good with children, good with animals.
Somebody who enjoys life, lets everything flow, and says yes to the partner, whether it be male or female or a dog. Often, just say yes. Don't quibble. Stop quibbling, guys. Stop the quibble.
I love someone who inspires me creatively.
Every marriage isn't perfect, but and you do have your ups and downs, but I think we have a lot of fun together. It'd be quite good if he could do a bit more cooking, but I guess those are one of the minuses. Above all else, he has to let me be who I am and love me for who I am.
Someone who can love unconditionally.
I would like them to be able to do dishes and pick up after themselves, otherwise I'm not really asking for a lot.
A guy that's a good listener, a guy that's considerate with a wonderful sense of humour. That's what makes a good guy for me, and I've got one, so I'm really lucky.
Getting told what you do by your mum and dad.
Girls. That is hard, eh?
Well, some of the challenges that young guys face is, every day they have to get up and they have to make good decisions, and they have to go out and actively and positively engage with people. And that's a real big key, is positively engaging, okay? In positive ways, in whichever, in day-to-day conversations and getting on teams, doing the work that they're doing here. As you can see right now, these guys are working really well together. It's not a sports team, it's not an athletic team, but they're doing teamwork, by the way, by what they're doing in there. And Matua Danny in there, he does a great job with them because he gives them different tasks to do, and guys need tasks to be successful.
It comes down to kind of desires, basically. What do they desire to do and what's within their reach? I think a lot of people are unaware, or a lot of young men are unaware that the world's their oyster. And if they actually put their mind to it, they can succeed in whatever they do.
There seems to be a lot of emphasis on individuality, but my experience is boys and young men like being part of a team or groups, and they thrive on that, and they thrive on the teamwork and the competition which is associated with it. And I think things like PlayStation and all the digital technologies removes that element. And I think the more boys are involved in activities, sport or culture, the more they thrive.
Having no good role models. We've got so many young kids today with no fathers, especially young boys, with no one to guide them. And for me, I believe that it's very important that boys have male role models, guys that can show them how to relate to women, especially, or to anything feminine. But I believe there's a huge lacking in there. There's a lot of young boys with no fathers just running around running amok, and a lot of fathers that aren't being responsible enough for their children.
That's a very old question, and it goes the same with the answer. It's sort of like it's easier to walk away than to stick in there. It's like any kind of relationship, you've got to revisit it every day.
This is not an excuse, this is an observation, is that responsibilities, the responsibilities of manhood and so on, I think come later in guys. They don't recognize the fact that, that all their actions have consequences, and they tend to, shirk some responsibilities sometimes.
If they have hit the ground and I see them working there, crawling their way back up again, that to me is a real man. Where they've hit rock bottom for whatever reason in their life and they pull themselves out and they've got the strength to do that, I think they can do anything.
If you love yourself, then you can let other people love you. That's all it is to it. If you dish yourself, it's not going to work. You have to be strong, and children need someone to look up to. If you push yourself down, then you're no good to yourself. You got to build yourself up. You got to be aware of who you are and happy with yourself. If you've made mistakes, then you're only human, aren't you?
So it's imperative that as parents that we provide a safe and secure home for our children, that in that home there's clear understanding of what the boundaries are, clear understanding of what is right and wrong, and a realisation that there's consequences for your actions.
Well, I suppose my husband.
My brother and my son.
Probably my dad.
My father was a good role model. Quiet, humble, and had good discipline, and we were well cared for and looked after.
Danny, because he's like a male role model to us. Like, he helps us and tells us what to do, and if we do something wrong, he'll always fix it for us.
Mr. Goldbelt. My dad and that guy.
That guy, Mr. Goldbelt.
He's been helping me through school since I was year 7.
When I've been getting in trouble and stuff, he always helps me out and he's on my side.
Yeah, he's always on our side, so...
Been getting us involved in some physical stuff to get us fit and just keep us healthy.
The best role model's been my dad, who stayed home to take care of the kids.
It's never too late to be a dad. And people who diss themselves for being maybe whatever we think a father is supposed to be. Kids are so forgiving and love is unconditional. I've had a violent upbringing in my family and with my father and that, but I love my dad.
So it's never too late. And I don't think there's such a thing as a perfect parent. Being a parent, you make mistakes too, so it's doing the best you can.
With my grandson and granddaughter, it's like, wow, if I knew the things that I knew now, it'd be better off. And I've had these conversations with younger men, younger fathers, and things like that. And it's never ever too late. You can always pick it up and try to pick up the pieces and work with the young people. So don't ever give up.
The kids are the future on this planet, and I think the best thing you can do as a man, if you're big enough to make children, you should be big enough to take responsibility for them.
Someone you can talk to, someone you can hopefully look up to and be proud of, and a good dad I think is active with the family, involved, part of the kids having fun growing up and exploring the world, and hopefully if you do a half decent job they'll try and emulate the good things that you do too, not the bad.
Somebody who has lots of time for his children.
And if you're carrying on with your normal daily life, the best way to give them time is just to include them a little bit so they join in with what you're doing. You don't have to do anything particularly special. It's just doing whatever you do and including them so that they're sharing that time with you. So I enjoy sailing, so we come and do this.
I just really enjoyed getting involved with it, and I learned to sail as well. So it was not only supporting them what they wanted to do, but it was also good for me because I got to learn to sail myself.
My dad's special because he's a great dad and he's really nice and he's a great builder and he takes us biking a lot.
Well, my dad, he helps me with lots of things and he always does what's he thinks right for me and stuff.
He teaches me a lot of stuff and takes me to other islands in the Gulf.
Basically just what he teaches me in the workshop and stuff like that.
And we go to the climbing walls and we go fishing.
My dad's really cool because like when we do sailing, he's like always nice, and like at the end he gives us awesome lollipops.
Been there for me, you know, helped me out when I've needed help.
Just showed me what to do all the time. He was there. That's the most important part, he was there. Okay?
But my grandmother was a great guy.
Can't go wrong if you give the ladies flowers and chocolates, mate, and look after them all year round.